Drills Talk, episode 113. In this episode, we're going to discuss the top 4 ways to overcome procrastination. This is based on a blog I wrote in the past entitled Mortality Motivation. Mortality motivation is basically telling you that you're going to die, you better do this. And hopefully, we can get to the point of beating procrastination without mortality motivation. That's the goal. But understand that if you hear somebody who all of a sudden gets a disease and now they're traveling, now they're hanging out with family, now they're getting in the best shape of their life, it's because of mortality motivation. I don't want you to wait that long. Let's discuss.
Yo, Drills.
Created by the great wizard of the new world.
Drills Talk, episode 113. In this episode, we're going to discuss the top 4 ways to overcome procrastination. But before we get started, please like, subscribe, show your love however you would like to show your love. Here we're an entrepreneurship-based channel. Every Monday, we have a new blog. Every Wednesday, I release a new Drills Talk. And I also add videos that are entrepreneurial-based, and hopefully you check those out too. Let's get started. Number one is to make it life or death. Now, it doesn't have to be life or death. As I told you in the opening, I don't want you to wait until something is like at a point of, okay, I'm going to die, let me do this. But if it needs to be on the table, if you need to trick yourself into doing it, then do so. Because that's when things get done. If you ever set a time schedule for yourself, you say, okay, at 9 o'clock, I'm going to do this. And it gets to like 8:30, and you're like, well, it's only a 15-minute task. Then it's 8:45, then it's 8:50, and then you do that task in that last 10 minutes, that 15-minute task in 10 minutes. Why is that? Because that 9 o'clock was death. That 9 o'clock was, okay, well, this is the deadline, right? You have to understand that when we tell ourselves when we're going to do something, it's a little push. But if we tell ourselves in generalities, then nothing is making us do it. And we don't know how long we're going to live, no. But we never think we're going to die the next day. Imagine how much you would do in a day if you were not guaranteed the next day, which we're not, but we don't live that way. We live as if there's always a tomorrow. But how much would you get done if you knew that this was your last day or this was your last week? Or, how many phone calls would you make if this was your last month? How many people would you get in contact with and all of a sudden want to see person to person as opposed to shooting them a text or writing an email or commenting on a social media or something like that? We need to live that way, because procrastination and saying, okay, well, I'll see that person next time I go home, and you don't go home for months, and then that month turn to years, you haven't talked to that person. But if you were to check out or knew you were checking out in the next week, you probably would have went home and spent days there. Let's make things life or death, but for play. And make it so we think it's real and we're doing real things, overcoming procrastination. Number two is to think, then do. We know we need to do something. We're walking around the house and we walk past that kitchen that just is on our agenda to clean, but tomorrow, right? But we're not doing anything in that minute. Not doing anything at that time. Why not clean the kitchen then? Why keep walking past it? How many times in that day are you going to walk past that same kitchen that's scheduled to be cleaned tomorrow? Let's think, then do. Oh man, I got to call my grandparent. They're getting up there in age. I just need to call them. All right, I'll call them tomorrow. I'll call them on the weekend. Why? They're retired. They're not working. You know what I mean? They're home. You call them, they'll answer. They're waiting on your call too. And it only takes that one day to where, I'm going to call them. You don't call, they pass, and someone else is calling from their number to tell you the bad news. Why? Why go through that? For what? Think, then do. I want to talk to my grandparents, call. I want to see how my mother's doing, call. What's going on with my cousin? I haven't spoke to my cousin, call. It doesn't matter that their birthday is next week. Call them today, then call them again next week on their birthday. Think, then do. You'd be amazed how procrastination doesn't even have a chance to overcome you with, inaction. When you see something, you think about it and then you do it. Oh my goodness, there's a chip on the wall. I have the paint. Let me go grab the paint, fix that issue, let it dry. I thought, and then I did. Otherwise, I would have been walking past that paint chip to the point it was like I didn't even see it anymore until someone else came and said, "Oh, what's going on? Your wall's chipped." Oh man, I was supposed to fix that months ago. We don't need to get there. Think, then do. Very simple, and it's a procrastination killer. Number 3. Number 3 is to learn to enjoy difficult things. We tell ourselves over and over again that I'm good at what I'm good at. Okay, that makes sense. But why are you only good at whatever it is you're good at? Because you don't give yourself the opportunity to struggle. You don't like the feeling of struggle. You got to think about it. When we're sitting down and we're reading a book, if it's not something that we're very interested in, but it's something we have to read, it's like each word is just beating us up. It's like, oh my goodness, I don't know what this is. I don't understand. Of course you don't understand. You haven't read the book before, right? This is new. This is new information. This is something you have to learn. You have to learn again. Some people, most of us haven't had to learn since school, since maybe the first couple of months of the job that they're on. It's like, learn to embrace difficult things. And difficult things is just that feeling of, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to pay extra attention. I'm going to have to be a student again. I'm going to have to learn something. I'm going to have to be the one who doesn't know. I'm going to have to be the one who's doing extra research to understand some of the words that I'm reading. I'm going to have to see someone else do it. I'm going to have to look up some video. Yeah, you are. And you should enjoy that. You should enjoy difficult things because things don't stay difficult, right? The more you read about it, the more comfortable you are with the information that's coming your way. The more you recognize what's being told to the point where you can now tell other people. Enjoy difficult things because, again, the difficult part goes away and now you're just enjoying new things. You're enjoying learning. You're enjoying being able to become a teacher to something or about something to someone. You're getting better. You're enjoying improving yourself because that's what it is to enjoy difficult things. If you can get through difficult things, then procrastination, there's no room for that because we know that it's going to be hard in the beginning and we're not going to put it off because we know it's going to be difficult. So we want to get around that learning curve as soon as possible. So waiting around is not an option. Number 4. Number 4 is to embrace a perfectionless life. Everybody wants to do everything the best they can. Some people take it a step further and want it perfect. It's not a lot of things that can be perfect. Yes, grades can be perfect. You can get a 100 on a test. You can score 10 out of 10. You can shoot 5 out of 5 free throws. Yes, you can, and that is considered perfect. But the entire game, life, it's impossible to be perfect. So if anybody tells you that they're perfectionists, understand, and you can also hear that I'm a procrastinator. And I bet you won't call yourself a perfectionist again. Because that's what a perfectionist is. To want to perfect everything means to be a procrastinator. You are wasting a boatload of time attempting to get something to a perfect state when it cannot get to a perfect state. If you're an artist, your art is up to interpretation, right? So even if you think it's perfect and you put it out there, there's going to be millions of people who don't think it's anywhere near perfect. So now what do? You don't make another song because other people feel that what your level of perfect is not perfect. So you're going to hold that song a little longer to where you could have released a song every month, but now you just seem to get to maybe 2 a year because you're a perfectionist. Don't let that hurt you. Don't let that word trick you into sounding like a positive. Being a perfectionist is a negative trait. It's a weakness because it enables procrastination. It allows us to think that we're trying to be great, but it actually is holding us back from ever getting to great because we're not putting up enough work to get enough feedback, to get enough experience in creating from nothing to something. Drills Talk. Episode 113. These are the top 4 ways to overcome procrastination. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. It's drills.com. Check this out. It's Drills.